This is Into Math for 3rd grade, lesson 7.1, Relate Multiplication and Division. I can use related multiplication and division equations to solve problems. Before we begin this lesson, it's important to do a vocabulary review on multiplication and division equations. So for multiplication, we have two factors that make a product. So in this example, the 3 and the 2 are our factors, and when they are multiplied together, they make a product, which is our answer. And in this example, the product is 6. In the division equation, we have a dividend that is divided by the divisor, which equals the quotient, which is the answer. In this example, the 6 is the dividend, the 3 is the divisor, and the 2 is the quotient. In the lesson, we will be using these terms, so if you need to come back to this section, please feel free to do that. Please gather your workbook and a pencil and turn to page 172. You can pause as needed. We will begin under Build Understanding Part 1. Jackson plants pepper plants in 3 equal rows. He plants 18 plants. How many plants are in each row? Show equal groups. Let's review that information again. So there will be 3 equal rows, and we know there's a total of 18 plants. So we know that there will be, if we make an array, that there will be 1, 2, 3 rows that are equal, and we're trying to find out how many are in each row. And so if you'd like to pause and try this on your own, you're welcome to do that and come back, or just follow along with me. So we already have 3, so we'll just keep counting and putting 1 in each row. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So now we have to stop because there are 18 plants. Let's take a look at question A. How many plants are in each row? Well, you can count them. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 plants in each row. And part B, what multiplication and division equations can you write to model the problem? Again, if you would like to pause and try this on your own, you're welcome to do that and come back or follow along with me. So we can look at this array and we can see that there are 3 rows, and in each row there are 6 plants. And we know that the total is 18. So 3 times 6 makes 18. So that's our multiplication equation, would be the 3 by 6 equals 18. For the division equation, they first said that there were 18 plants, and they divided them into 3 rows. And then we had to find that there were 6 in each row. So our division equation is 18 divided by 3, and we found that that was 6. Now I want you to take a look at part C. How are the equations the same, and how are they different? Again, maybe you'd like to try this on your own and push pause and come back. When you're back, I'm wondering if you noticed that the numbers in both equations are the same. We use the same numbers. So that's a way that they are alike. Something that makes them different is that their operation signs are different, right? One is a multiplication and one is a division. And then also the numbers are not in the same order. We have 3 times 6 equals 18, and we have 18 divided by 3 equals 6. So now I'd like us to look at the connect to vocabulary. There's a new vocabulary term called inverse operations, and that's where there are opposite operations. So multiplication and division are inverse operations. And this isn't your first time learning about inverse operations. Maybe you haven't called it that before, but when we do adding and subtraction, those are also inverse operations. Let me give you an example. So we have 4 plus 5 makes 9. Then we would start by Subtracting 9, take away, and we could do 4, and we would have 5. We can see this inverse operation when we use multiplication and division. In this example, 3 times 6 makes 18, and then we take 18 and we divide it into 3 parts, and we know that we will get 6. Now let's take a look at the next page, page 173, part 2. Zoe plants 5 equal rows of lettuce plants. 1 row is shown. How many lettuce plants does Zoe plant? Show equal groups. All right, part A. How many lettuce plants are in each row? Well, here is this picture, so we can easily see that that would be 3 plants in each row. They have told us that there's going to be 5 equal rows, and we know that there are 3 plants in each row. So now I'm going to draw a bar model that shows what the word problem is demonstrating. There are 5 equal rows. I'm going to draw 5 boxes to represent those rows. In each row there are 3, and we know that because of that picture. So I'm going to write 3 in each box that represents the equal rows, and then I'm going to just count by 3s or add these all together. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and my total would be 15. So the total amount of lettuce plants that Zoe plants is 15. Part B. What multiplication equation and division equation can you write to model this problem? So if you'd like to pause and try this on your own, you're welcome to do that and come back. Our model shows that there were 5 equal rows because we have 5 boxes to demonstrate that, and each row had 3 in the row, so that made a total of 15. So this would be our multiplication equation. Now for our division, we would take the total amount, 15, and we know they were broken into 5 boxes or equal rows. So we can write that we had 15 and we divided them into 5 equal rows, and when we did that, we found that there were 3 in each of those rows. So our division equation is 15 divided by 5 equals 3. All right, the last question. How do these equations show how multiplication and division are related? Well, one thing I notice is that I can write a multiplication equation or a division equation to model the same problem. We took this word problem and we created a multiplication and a division equation from this information. Another thing I'm noticing, and maybe you noticed it too, is that the factors in the multiplication equation, which would be the 5 and the 3, are the divisor, which is this 5 right here, and the quotient in the division problem. And the final thing I notice is that the product in the multiplication equation is the same as the dividend in the division equation. So you're welcome to always go back and rewatch this video and pause along the way as needed.